Some stories are too heavy for the heart. Some names are spoken softly, because saying them too loudly still hurts. Chapultepec, September 13, 1847. A castle on a hill, a school for boys and a group of young cadets who decided that some things are worth more than growing old. This is their story. They were not generals, they were not old men hardened by years of war. They were boys, some still had the soft faces of children. Some had only just learned how to hold a rifle properly. Some still wrote letters home with careful handwriting and dreams of the future. They lived inside the walls of Chapultepec Castle, a military academy high above Mexico City. It was their school, it was their home, it was the place where they were learning how to become men. Then the war reached the gates. The city was falling, the enemy was climbing the hill. Orders came to abandon the castle. Save yourselves, leave while you still can. Most of the older officers left, the professional soldiers withdrew, but the boys stayed. They looked at one another in the stone corridors of the academy. No long speeches were needed. Something quiet and final passed between them. They would not leave the flag, they would not leave the castle, they would not leave each other.
There are moments when childhood ends, not with time,
but with a choice.
Niños Héroes,
boys who became eternal. They were
young enough to be afraid,
they were young enough to want to live. Yet they chose the hill,
they chose the war,
they chose the flag over their own tomorrows.
Niños Héroes,
your name still walk the halls of memory.
You were children
who decided that something
far larger
than growing old. Their names are still spoken with a careful kind of love. Juan Escutia, Vicente Suárez, Francisco Márquez, Agustín Melgar, Fernando Montes de Oca, Juan de la Barrera. 6 boys, 6 short lives, 6 decisions that still echo. One of them, the story says, wrapped the Mexican flag around his body when the end was near, and leapt from the high walls of the castle so that the flag would never be taken. Whether every detail is exact or partly shaped by time, the heart of the story remains the same. They refused to let the symbol of their country fall into enemy hands while they still had breath. Imagine them in those final hours, the sound of advancing boots on the hill, the stone floors of the academy that had once heard only lessons and laughter. The young voices trying to stay steady. Some of them were still teenagers, some had mothers waiting for letters, some had brothers and sisters who would never see them come home. Yet when the moment came to choose between escape and duty, they stayed, they fought, not because they hated, but because they loved. They loved the land beneath the castle. They loved the idea of Mexico more than they loved the years.
They would never get too dear. There are moments when childhood ends, not with time,
but with a choice.
Niños Héroes,
boys who became eternal. They were
young enough to be afraid,
they were young enough to want to live. Yet they chose the hill,
they chose the wall,
they chose the flag over their own tomorrows.
Niños Héroes,
your name still walk the halls of memory.
You were children
who decided that some things
are larger
than growing old. When the fighting ended, the castle was taken, the hill was quiet again. But something had changed forever. Mexico did not only lose 6 young cadets that day, it gained a permanent wound and a permanent light. The wound is the knowledge the boys had to die before they had the chance to become men. The light is the proof that courage does not wait for age. The love of country can burn just as fiercely in a young chest as in an old one. We do not celebrate their deaths, we honor their decision, we honor the moment. They looked at the open road of escape and turned back toward the walls. We honor the fear they must have felt and the way they moved forward anyway. We honor the mothers who received the silence instead of letters. We honor the empty chairs that remained empty. And we honor the strange, painful beauty of young lives that burn so briefly and so brightly that the nation still feels the warmth more than a century and a half later. Every year their names are spoken again. Children in schools learn them by heart. Monuments stand where they stood. The castle still watches over the city. But the deepest memorial is not made of stone. It lives in the quiet question. Their story still asks every generation, what would you protect, even if it cost you everything? What would you refuse to abandon, even when the safer path was open? The Niños Héroes do not answer for us. They only show us that the question is real. Niños Héroes, boys who became eternal. They were young enough to be afraid. They were young enough to want to live. Yet they chose the hill, they chose the wall, they chose the flag over their own tomorrows. Niños Héroes, your name still walk the halls of memory. You were children who decided that something are larger than growing old. And because you decided, a nation still stands a little taller when it remembers you. They should have grown old. They should have had families. They should have walked the streets of a peaceful city with gray hair and slow steps. Instead, they remain forever young on a hill above Mexico City. Juan Escutia, Vicente Suárez, Márquez, Agustín Melgar, Fernando Montes de Oca, Juan de la Barrera. 6 boys who were given the chance to run and chose to stay. We do not ask others to die as they died. We only ask that their courage not be forgotten, because as long as their story is told with honesty and with pain, the hill of Chapultepec still belongs to the young who were braver than their years. Rest now, Niños Héroes.
The country you love,
the country you loved still speaks your names.